What do you think about Ibrahim Traore? And do you think Nigeria needs something like that?
Daddy Freeze. Do you know that as much as we will love what is happening in Burkina Faso, the unfortunate flip side of Nigeria is that our military has become so politicized that they are almost as corrupt as the political class.
I
believe they are.
We have had military leaderships in Nigeria. How far? Was it not military that are not June 12? The problem is what is going on with insecurity in Nigeria today. Nigerian military goes to Liberia, Sierra Leone, and they are able to maintain peace. How big is Sambisa Forest? But remember the words of a former minister for defense, General T.Y. Danjuma. He stood on a podium in Wukari in Taraba or Jalingo. He said they collude, the military, they collude. The current National Security Advisor, Oganuhu Ribadu, he went to Plateau when this recent killing happens. He said the arms and equipment that are being used to kill people are weapons that were stolen from government armory. That is, criminals are stealing weapons from government armory using to kill citizens, and the government cannot protect them. What is going on in the military? Have you heard stories of younger soldiers? What of General Abu, the person who led the battalion? You remember the story. So as much as we want to look at, I believe in democracy, and I'm a Democrat. And I believe that Nigerians have the maximum capacity to change their fortunes. For us to fix this nation, we don't need up to 10 million Nigerians. A strong 10,000 people who will occupy the National Assembly and the Presidential Villa, they will get the message. Nobody is as afraid or fearful as Nigerian politicians. So Burkina Faso has a template. It is working for them. Some part of it, do not forget that there can also be PR and propaganda there too, because we are not there. But on the general scale, it seems like they have it good now. Does Nigeria have that kind of figure? Because in case there is a military this thing now, the Chief of Army Staff or Chief of Defense Staff is General Christopher Gwabin Musa. Okay. So, or the Chief of Army Staff, or maybe they make Ibo Gete Bass, who is in Rivers State now, who is appointing somebody from Cross River to head election. Even imagine you take over a military regime. Nigeria na wuru wuru. Well, let us fix the system that we know, the democracy that we know. Because if we go flip and enter the one we will not know. So now express we did. That is what Nigerian politicians do. They test you in one level. Once you submit to it, it scales up.
Okay, democracy,
yes, sir,
as a means or mode of governance, how viable is it in Nigeria? Because we're practicing democracy,
yes,
but at the end of the day, from all you described, it doesn't look like we have elections. It looks more like we have selections.
Yes.
So do you think democracy can work in Nigeria? And if your answer is no, what other options do you think we have?
Daddy Freeze, do you know that my answer is an absolute yes? Democracy can work in Nigeria. You know, and I take to that submission of, I think, the former British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, who said that democracy is the worst system of government until you try every other system of government. To everybody who criticizes democracy, you will appreciate it when you try another one. There is a communist system in China. There are different parts. The problem with Nigeria is democracy has two faces. There is the principle and the practice of democracy. If you follow the principle of democracy in the sense of power coming from the people, holding people accountable, with people having their liberty and justice to chart their own course, beautiful. Nigerians have put democracy in principle on this side, and the democracy in practice have been hijacked by a handful of political elites who have now privatized the profits and socialized losses to Nigerians. So the people who are benefiting in democracy today are politicians. That is why on Democracy Day, June 12th, the only people you will see holding parties in government houses, governor, president, they go there, they open bed, they cut cake. Nigerians who are on the street are asking, where are the dividends of this democracy? So democracy as it is a viable system of government, but it is what we make of it. It is as viable as we are willing and ready to fight for it, because lack of it we do not exist in a vacuum.